Okay, so the webinar today provides general information on the project and on the structure of the second open call, which has some updates in when compared to the first open call, but we will go through it. Tomorrow we have a webinar on the technical infrastructure, so the COVID sandbox, and on Thursday a webinar with the clinical partners to explain who they are and what types of data sets and what type of applications they are looking for. With me today, I have Alberto, which is the leader of the acceleration program. So we will share the presentation. My name is Antonio. I work for F6S and I help the team by coordinating the project. So COVID-X, as you know, the pandemic is hitting with force. These numbers are unfortunately updated, so we have a lot more deaths, and we need to narrow down the space or the gap between technology breakthroughs and healthcare systems. And one of the best ways to do that is by exploiting the power of data. Okay, so COVID-X is bridging the gap between the technology providers and healthcare providers, and we are looking for solutions based with data. What we provide in the project is a the COVID sandbox, which allows exactly the development of AI-based solutions using the data provided by healthcare organizations in a safe and GDPR compliance way. What we are looking for, and this is quite important, is solutions that are based on artificial intelligence and machine learning to overcome some clinical challenges. Okay? We have defined 6 clinical challenges organized in 3 domains: diagnosis, prognosis, and follow-up. And in each of these, we have 2 domains, so early detection and prevention, innovative diagnostics are in the side of diagnosis, prognosis, personalized healthcare and remote care, and on follow-up, healthcare continuity and recovery. We don't think that vaccines are the full answer to the pandemic, neither the Commission. So these challenges should be a guideline for what you want to propose, but even on these domains, you are welcome to innovate and provide good solutions. So forgot to mention that if you are a team solution, you can provide an open challenge, or you can define a COVID-related challenge, which we categorize in open challenge, and you can provide apply with a solution to this open challenge. So the program provides financial support and validation, market acceleration program, and access to the COVID sandbox. We, in total, we will provide direct funding to more than 30 data solutions. Okay. On this second open call, we are funding 7 single players and 17 players. And our goal is that your products are validated in real-world clinical sites. And if applicable, you must have CE marking, but more on this later. we fund two types of solutions. So single players uh, that will work with our clinical partners. And for these players, on top of the acceleration program that Alberto will detail, we provide 100K on funding, direct funding, equity-free funding. For the team solutions, SMEs must partner with a healthcare provider, and we provide 115K in total, but 100K must be for the SME and 50K for the healthcare provider. Our clinical partners are from Milan, Madrid, and Stockholm. So Instituto Clínico Humanitas from Milan, Hospital Clínico San Carlos from Madrid, and Karolinska Institute from Stockholm. You will be able to understand better these three clinical partners on the webinar on Thursday. um, for the team players, again, what we are looking for is SME to provide the technical infrastructure, but healthcare providers which will provide data for the solutions to be validated. Important here is to mention that by healthcare providers, we accept any type of institution as long as it provides direct care to patients. So hospitals, clinics, primary care centers, telehealth operators, assisted living facilities, they all can qualify as healthcare providers. And again, if you partner with an healthcare provider and have a challenge related with COVID, just apply to the open challenge and describe your solution, your concept, and of course it will be accepted and evaluated in the program. There are some constraints that we need to meet. Um, because of the call that we have been funded. And the two most important constraints are the TRL level, which solutions must be at least at TRL 7, and the CE marking, you must be close or already have the CE marking or EU marking with the new regulation. So the point for both is that our concepts, or we have a full description of what we understand by the TRL levels. They are in the guideline for applicants. And what we request in both TRL and CE marking is that you clearly justify your claim. So if you say that you are at TRL 7, please go through our description of the TRL 7 or 8 or whatever, and provide enough evidence that you are at that level. For CE marking, uh, the Commission published a number of documents, and you should go through the documents. The links are in the guideline for applicants. But if you think that your solution does not qualify with a medical device software, you should be clear enough so that we agree or disagree with you. And the most important part is the intended use of your software. So go through the Commission published documents on qualification of software medical devices and provide us with enough data for us to evaluate if you are in the scope of medical device or not. And if you think that you are not, please justify it thoroughly so that we can assess your application. Now, I will pass the floor to Alberto to continue sorry, I made the mistake. Alberto, you have the control, but you are muted. Ah,
Yeah. Can
you
you hear
you you pressed escape.
me? Okay.
Just a second.
So I can share my screen as well.
So you please do so.
Okay, perfect.
It's faster.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so hello everyone. I am Alberto. I work at Bosonid, which is an innovation and technology consultancy firm based in Spain. And as Antonio has mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, we are the leading partner of the acceleration program. That includes not only the financial part, but also a set of services that we are providing to all the companies involved in the program. As part of the program, and this is something that we need to mention, is that we are developing a data sandbox that all the teams need to be integrated with the sandbox. There will be a technical webinar in just 1 day, so tomorrow, in which the technical partners of the program will explain to you all the specific technicalities of the sandbox. But apart from this sandbox service that is provided to the applicants, we are also providing the market acceleration program, in which we will fast track all the ideas that you will be, let's say, proposing to the consortium. And the idea is to help you to reach enough TRL of your solutions at the end of the program and give you the capacity to launch your innovations to the market. So basically, the program will last around 10 months, in which we will divide this program in 3 different sprints that I'm going to explain right now. And basically, the services can be categorized apart from the financial support in technical support, business coaching, and pilots and ethical support. In terms of how the program works, we will have, as mentioned, 10 months program, in which in the first month we will basically be focused on the sign of the legal documents that you need to sign to be part of the project. Also, we will have like a boot camp at the beginning of the program to introduce ourselves, to further introduce ourselves, to explain you more in depth the acceleration program, and to explain you all the services that are involved in, or that you will be able to receive. And also, we will also want to get to know more about you. So we will launch a set of surveys in order to get more information about you and to understand your needs and somehow tailor-make the program to all your needs. After that, you will enter into the program itself, which is divided in 3 different sprints, in which we have set different goals per each sprint. So for instance, in the sprint 1, you will need to send us a deliverable in form of KPIs. You will need to integrate your solution in the sandbox, and you will need to receive the ethical approval of your critical partner. In the second sprint, you need to validate the data model. You need to agree on the IP with your clinical partner, and you also need to comply with the specific KPIs that you have set at the beginning of the program. And finally, in the third sprint, you will need to complete a feasibility study thanks to the business mentoring that you will receive, and you will also need to demonstrate that you have achieved all the KPIs that you set both in the proposal and in the KPIs document. Regarding the business support, so as mentioned at the beginning of the program, we will assess your needs and your startup maturity and so on. And we will, based on that, we will offer you a set of services in the form of topics and one-to-one sessions with top experts in Europe. Then we will help you with some activities to create your business roadmap. So we will start at the very beginning of the program and we will end at the end. And as a feedback from these services, we will provide you with a business roadmap definition, which will be a document that will be a document that will be elaborated by you and with our help, and it will define the roadmap to follow after the program. And we will also have some demo days and workshops during the program, in which you will get to know the other startups involved. You will get to know some experts, some key partners in Europe, and the idea is to create a community among or around the COVID-X program and all the startups that are involved in, not only for the second open call, but also for the first open call that we are running right now, the first acceleration program. Regarding the technical support, we will offer you a set of courses to improve the capacity or the technical knowledge of you and your team. So it will be 3 different topics in data-related technologies. Then, as part of the support in the program, we will offer you as well trainings on Sandbox, which will be a set of webinars in which you will get to know more about the Sandbox itself, and you will receive more information on how to integrate your solutions with the Sandbox and how to use the Sandbox and the services that are offered through it. And also, in case you need it, you will have one-to-one support with our technical partners that will assess you or will support you during the whole program in case you have some problem with integration, the standardization of the data, the privacy concerns, and so on. I just want to mention that tomorrow we will have a technical webinar at the same hour as this webinar. In this webinar, we will explain better what is the COVID-X Sandbox and what we expect from you. And the idea is, or at least it is mandatory under the guidelines for applicants, that your solution needs to be integrated with the COVID Sandbox. So I really encourage you to attend tomorrow's meeting in order to prepare or better prepare your proposal for this first stage. And finally, for technical support, which is also related with the pilot and ethical support, for single solutions, you will have a dedicated pilot site, which are the clinical partners that Antonio has mentioned at the beginning of the webinar. They will offer you a set of data sets and tailored support in the form of mentoring and one-to-one meetings with them in order to achieve your project objectives. All these clinical partners will introduce themselves in 2 days from now in the clinical webinar that we are going to carry out the 24th of June. I will suggest you, if you are thinking on applying under a single solution scheme, that you attend this webinar and select which is the partner that can offer you or can give you the data set that you need for your technology and your solution. And then you can also create a set of preferred clinical partners and include it in the proposal. And also for team solutions, we offer as well some support in the piloting and ethical issues, as we have also inside the consortium strong partners in the clinical side. And we, as part of the technical and pilot support, we have created a framework and monitoring program in which we will have dedicated sessions with mentors inside the consortium to monitor and follow up your progress in the project. And that is basically everything about the acceleration program. I will be more than happy to answer any questions you have at the end of the webinar. So now the floor is yours again, Antonio.
Sorry, I could not activate my microphone. So now we move to the detailed explanation of the...
Antonio?
Yes?
Yeah, we are not seeing the presentation mode. We are seeing the presenter mode.
Sorry. Now is okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So now let's move to the application process. Okay, so there are a couple of differences between this application process and the first one. Now, instead of having a single application with a pre-screening process, we now have two stages application. So the first stage is now open. It will close on the 22nd of July, and only the proposals that are ranked in the first, um, I would say, three times the number of applications that we, or the number of proposals that we need to fund, will move to the second stage. And the application process is easier. So there is a strict number of pages that you can upload, that we will evaluate in this first stage. Everything is described in the guideline for applicants. And the purpose of this is to ease your burden when applying, and allow you to be more concrete in the questions that will allow us to evaluate if your solution is aligned with the goals of the call, and also with the business um, how should I say, merits of your proposals. The feedback will be provided until August 6th, and the second stage open call for the ones that move forward will run from 7th of August until 16th of September. Okay? In this second application, you have to provide a more detailed technical annex, but also a slide deck where you are going to pitch your project. So all the information is available both on the website and on F6S platform. So go to the website and download the Open Call Application Kit, which has all the information needed, and go to the F6S platform and submit your application there. So F6S is the only allowed means of submission, and you must submit all the deliverables in the platform. Uh, if you don't know how, you can please refer to us. You can check all your submitted deliverables in the platform, even after submitting. But please don't leave this until the last minute, because if you detect that anything is uploaded incorrectly, you may not have time to reopen and resubmit the application. So just to recap this, on the first one, on the first phase of evaluation, what we will do to all applications is perform an eligibility check, and then we have an internal review committee with experts from the three domains: technical, clinical, and business experts, and we will provide feedback in 2 weeks after the application closes, and notify every team, the ones that are accepted and the ones that will not be accepted to move to the second phase. On the second phase, we have two process evaluation. First, all applications will be reviewed by an external review committee, and then 2/3 of the teams will be invited to an online interview. After that, the consortium meets to reach a consensus, and for the single solutions, match the applicants with the clinical partners. So it's important that if you can or work with more than one partner, please select both, because the number of projects that each clinical partner can help is limited. So you increase your chances of being selected if you have more than one potential clinical site to work with. And the feedback will be provided to these teams until October 1st, and the projects will start in the middle of November. Again, we must stress that all the information is available on the guideline for applicants. In terms of project implementation, we are focusing on results. Okay, so all the payments of the project are made if you achieve your result. So we will not be asking for timesheets and proof of expenditure and so on. Although you must keep them for your internal documentation and if you are audited by the commission, but for the project you don't have to do that. For us, what you need to do is deliver the results that you promised in the proposal in the time frame of your project. So in the first phase, you just have to provide a high-level implementation plan. On the second phase of application, you need to provide a detailed implementation plan. So we will be following that. We will also be checking the quality of your deliverables. And for you to be successful, we will be helping you with mentoring, with a clear definition of KPIs for the entire duration of the project. In fact, the first payment is made after you deliver the KPIs that you want to use to monitor your project throughout the entire program. And we will also provide the services that Alberto described. And this is it from our side. So if you have questions, please let us know. I think that there are a few questions. So, Ivan, do you mind speaking out your question?
Yes, I see from the commitment from the guideline for applicants that some hospitals, most of the hospitals are focused on challenges 3 and 4, if I don't mind, which means we do have to provide our own end users if we want to tackle challenge number 6, for example.
That is correct. So the challenges are defined. The ones that our clinical partners will not support are challenges that we consider to be important, but they should be answered in a team solution. So bring your clinical partner. If you don't find one, we may also be available to post your request on our F6S page so that we can try to help you find a clinical partner suitable for you.
Okay, and it is still mandatory to use the sandbox with the data provided by such hospitals, even if we will not work with them.
Yes, the usage of the COVID sandbox is mandatory.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Mabel, you are the next one. Could you please clarify your question?
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, sure.
Perfect. Well, I am just a little bit confused because I already booked a ticket for the technical webinar. and it was supposed to be on the 24th, so in 2 days, on Thursday. But Alberto mentioned all the time on the 23rd, tomorrow. So I am a little bit confused. I don't know when it's going
you
to.
Are correct. There is a typo. So the webinar, the technical webinar is tomorrow, and the clinical webinar is on the 24th. I think that in the page there is an inconsistency, but because on the description of the webinar it says 23, but then probably on the ticket it says 24.
So the date is 24th.
Now the date is 23 for the technical webinar.
Okay.
And 24 for the clinical webinar.
Okay, so I guess I have to go back and book a new ticket for tomorrow.
No, you don't need to do that. Just the link will be the same as today for the 3 webinars. Just
perfect.
Drop in.
Okay. It was a little bit confusing because apparently it was explained as if it were all together. I mean, clinical partners plus technical webinar. So, and then Alberto was saying 23rd. Perfect. It's clear now.
Yeah, you have all the links in the chat box right now.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
It's the same link for every day. So we have someone asking about the recording. We will share the recording later today as soon as it's available. And Pedro Lopes, you have raised your hand, so please, you have
Hello.
the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have quite a few questions. So our project is quite specific in terms of what we tend to do. It's basically a clinical trial in a very specific way. This is what we ultimately would be liking to do. And I don't think the data provided is sufficient. Can we work with the clinical partners to provide extra data? This is one question. The other question is it possible to get help to have the, to have clinical partners? Because from our experience in Portugal, it has been terrible. Each time we were able to pass the ethics commissions and having all the agreement from the clinicians, we end up not being able to move past the administration, the hospital administration. So if you could provide some clinical sites that are willing to work with us, it will be very helpful. Those are the two questions, please. Thank you.
So I think Alberto is in a better position to answer.
So regarding the data, so the clinical partners will provide you their data, and you can as well provide your data. I'm not sure if a clinical trial can be, let's say, the word to be implemented in the project. Of course, the clinical partners will explain you further, but they are not thinking on having a clinical trial inside their premises. And regarding the second question of searching or looking for partners, we will support you in the search for partners in the form of publishing your, let's say, your message through our social network. For instance, Antonio has mentioned that they can provide support through the F6S platform. So if you can write a comment in the chat box that is inside the F6S platform, that perhaps, Antonio, you can go around the F6S platform and explain a little bit how to comment and how to look for partners inside the platform and how to launch messages and so on. So that's the only way that we can support you in this in this in this in this matter.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that would be very helpful.
Yes, so thank you. So I would like just to add that the purpose of or one of the goals of the clinical webinar is to allow you to ask these types of questions to the clinical side, so to better understand if they have the data or not. And in terms of support from F6S platform, what we have done inside our network is to let everyone know that we have this project, and we already have some feedback from clinical partners that are looking for consortium. So if you post your availability there and then start discussing with the clinical partners or the potential clinical partners, so everything will converge to the forum inside F6S related either with the project or with the open call. So
thank you. Could you please send the link, put the link publicly?
Yes, I will do that later, but it's if you go S6S/COVID-X, or if you go to the website and select the application page on F6S, so everything is there. But I will post.
Thank you.
Also, Pedro, last year for first open call, we created a group in LinkedIn for making some matchmaking. I'm just posting in the chat box. So we will start promoting it in the coming days. So if you want as well to post your message through this group, I think it will be useful for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So if you have no further questions, Costas, you have raised your hand. You have the floor now.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I would like to clarify a bit the requirement concerning the CE marking, because as Antonio mentioned, the request is that the software should have a CE marking or be close to a CE marking. Can you define what close means? And okay, have in mind that, okay, are we talking about MDR? Are we talking about MDD? Because you know that the regulation has now changed. So what a CE marking means for you, and also when you say how close means, we need to have a clinical evaluation report already, or this is something that probably we are going to have some info from this project as well. Thank you.
So this is thank you for your question, but this question has multiple answers. So the first thing is you need to let us know if you qualify as a medical device or not. Okay, so please be clear about the intended use. And the way the Commission formulated this request was because by the time this project started, we were still in scope of the Medical Device Directive, but now we are in the scope of the Medical Device Regulation. So the requirements are a bit different. What we must understand for sure is by close, if your first, if your company has all the requirements in terms of quality procedures that are compliant with the regulation. So we need to assess because if you don't have a quality system, you are not even close to getting a CE marking, and you must have started all the procedures to get the CE or the EU marking certification now. Okay, so if you have done nothing of this sort, you are very far away of being able to get EU marking. If you have a quality procedure, if you have all the technical information about your product already done, so this will be closer than nothing. Okay.
So this means, just to clarify, so we need to be a 13485 certified company in order to be able to participate, or the quality system, we should have a quality system?
Yeah, so the directive does not require that the quality system is certified. Okay, it only requires that it exists.
Okay, okay. So it is the same thing for you. So you go under this the directive.
Exactly, under the
Okay,
directive.
good. Thanks.
So are there any further questions? So Costas, do you still have your hand raised? Paris is, let me get you. Paris,
Antonio, this is
yes,
Sophia.
go ahead. Sophia.
Just
Sophia is,
a second.
sorry, let me introduce you. Sophia is also a member of the consortium, and she is the, I would say, technical leader of the project and the main responsible for the COVID sandbox. Sophia, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Antonio. Just as a clarification, for the as a clarification for the question of the previous potential applicant, to be clear, we fund both single solutions as well as team solutions for the second open call. So an SME could submit a proposal as a single solution and then see from our consortium clinical partners which one provides the data that would be useful for validating their solution. Whereas team solutions can bring on board new clinical partners that do provide the data they require. Of course, you can do matchmaking to find if some of our clinical partners do not complete fully your requirements in data. As both Alberto and Antonio suggested, you can find a potential clinical partner that you can jointly submit a proposal with through the matchmaking capabilities of the F6S platform.
Thank you, Sophia. Parisis, you have the floor, then I will...
Yes, thank you for this webinar. I just want to clarify, is software as a medical device class 1 accepted for a proposal? Because our solution is currently ranked as medical device class 1, so we have the C for this category. Is this accepted?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
We accept all types of applications as long as they are correctly classified, okay? And if they are classified as a medical device, they give enough evidence that they are in the process of getting the U or CE marking. Okay. What we must reject is if someone describes their solution and in the intended use, we understand it should be classified as a medical device. And then they say we are a software, we don't need to be a software medical device. So these are clear rejections, and this is something that we encourage all applicants to avoid doing.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was very clear. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So now we have Wish.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's quite clear. I just have two questions. One is about the participants. So it's possible to have like two companies applying as a consortium, and it's possible to have clinical partners that are outside of European member states, even if they are not funded. So can you include them in the proposal anyway, or it will not be accepted?
So if Alberto, I may answer that. The first question, we don't fund consortiums, just single SMEs. So you cannot apply as a consortium. If you decide to partner with some outside entity, it's your decision, but for the sake of the project, we will only be paying to one SME, okay? As for the clinical partners outside EU, if you, we have already one of such cases where the SME is inside EU and the clinical partner is not even in the EU associated countries. So it is possible, but please be clear that you are including a partner outside EU, which will not be funded. So therefore, you will not receive, or the project will not receive 150K. You will only receive 100K. But there is a side issue: is you need to address data transfer from EU or from outside EU. So if you are working with someone from a regulated market in terms of data, please be clear that you are addressing these types of data transfer if they are in place.
Okay, very clear. Thank you.
So do we have any other questions for today? Alberto, anything else? Alberto or the rest of the members of the crew that are in the call, do you want to add? Yes, Mabel.
Yeah.
Mabel has one more question. Please go ahead, Mabel. You have the floor.
Hi again. I have one more question. Is regarding the TRL7. We think that the solution we will present to this open call is TRL7, but I want just to make sure, because we have made a proof of concept and we tested, let's say, and use it with the Severo Ochoa Biological Center in Spain, that is dependent from the CSIC. And I think it's enough, I mean, to prove that this is something that works. It has provided results, and from our point of view is TRL7 already. But I am a little bit worried about that. I mean, not meeting that constraint.
Mabel, this is something we cannot do, is to provide, let's say, a pre-screening of your application.
Okay.
But it's in your best interest, because we don't have enough information to provide you with an answer. The best answer we can give you is go to our documents, see the description of TRL7, and the description is based on the best practices of industry. So please make your homework and clearly justify why you think you are at TRL7.
Okay,
this is the best advice that we can give you.
Okay, I understand. I see. It's just try to, yes, justify why do you think is TRL7, well, or you are in a TRL7 state with your
Exactly.
solution.
Yes.
Okay,
so this we keep having these questions, and we always provide non-answers, which is we cannot assess if, based on a few lines, if your application is at the right TRL, if it properly addresses the technology domains requirement, and we cannot answer just because we don't have enough information, and any answer we give might be misleading. So it's a big risk for you and for us to if we provide these types of answers based on very limited information.
I understand. Okay, perfect. It's clear to me now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alberto, you wanted to share?
Not really. So I think there is another question from Luis, or it has been already solved.
It's solved already. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, so I encourage you to follow up in the coming webinars and to prepare your proposal, as the competition will be very strong. And I hope to see you in the next COIDEX batch for a second open call.
Okay, I have the same word, so please ask your questions in the F6S forum, attend the next webinars, and as long as you provide the general questions, we'll be able to answer, and feel free to reach out to us. So thank you so much for joining. This recording will be available in the next few hours, as soon as it is made available to us. So thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.